As a graduate of the class of 2012, it's hard to overstate the effect that Wellington has had on my life. One of my most significant experiences was my senior research project, which is a precursor to the independent science and humanities research program that now exists at Wellington. In this year-long class that I took, my purpose was to dive into research on a topic of my choice. The class was taught in part by Wellington's head of school, Mr. Brisk, who pushed us to learn beyond what we thought was possible. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I've always loved outer space. I knew going into the class that I had to research the universe. I started looking for astronomical research opportunities. I cold called scientists and researchers around the country, eventually finding a research group at OSU's astronomy department that was using a telescope in Arizona to discover new planets outside of our solar system. I was eager to learn, and they were willing to let me team up with their group. For the rest of my senior year, I went to Ohio State's campus a couple of times a week to help the group analyze the raw data, finding the stars most likely to hold exoplanets in their orbit. It was an incredible year of voracious, hands-on learning like I'd never experienced. I was hooked on astrophysics. As a freshman at Northwestern University, I decided to major in physics with a concentration in astronomy. I wanted to dive further into astrophysics research, so I applied for a number of opportunities. I was awarded a grant from NASA to study the atmospheres of exoplanets the summer after my freshman year. I was told by the program director that I was only awarded the grant so early because of my previous research experience at Wellington. This grant research led to a published paper, of which I was the primary author. This led to even more research grants and more opportunities, such as studying solar flares on the surface of the sun with a solar telescope at Stanford University, and studying how magnetic fields affect star formation in dense nebulas. After almost 4 years of extracurricular astrophysics research culminating in a senior thesis that was named the best in the physics department, I graduated from Northwestern in 2016 and was offered a full-time position conducting research with SOFIA, an airborne telescope and observatory that's operated by NASA. The telescope is truly one of a kind. An 11-foot infrared telescope, SOFIA is built into a modified Boeing 747, which allows for observation in the lower stratosphere at an altitude of around 43,000 feet, far above the atmosphere's water vapor, which blocks all infrared light before it can reach the ground. My job was to analyze telescope data and write software to test and perfect an instrument that a research group was building. The purpose of the instrument was to map magnetic fields in dense star-forming nebulas to see how they affected different aspects of how stars are born. During my time in this position, I went on 14 different flights with SOFIA out of NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in Southern California, where the telescope was based. It was pretty incredible to work on a flying telescope, and it was truly the experience of a lifetime. As most NASA projects eventually do, we ran out of money. So I had to search for employment elsewhere. With my passion for technology and the computer programming skills I'd acquired through years of astrophysical research, I landed a job in Provo, Utah at Qualtrics, a startup software company that creates survey-taking software for major companies and research institutions around the world. I currently work as a product specialist, helping clients to create survey software that fits their needs. Ultimately, all of these incredible experiences have shaped my life, and it's really all thanks to research I started at Wellington. Thank you.